The Lyons Junior Boys opened up the Lyons Youth Tournament with a 9-3 win over Long County. Reese Mixon was the starting and winning pitcher. He threw a 4-hitter and did not allow an earned run. Mixon working on a 2-hitter with 3 Ks. Pitching a crafty game today. Pitch is called by Nick Hayes. He calls pitches for the Toombs County varsity team. 1-2 pitch. Popped up in the air. It's in play. Martin Stevens coming in on the line. Makes a catch, moving into foul territory. And 2 up and 2 down in the 4th, and 8 up and 8 down overall.
I just knew I had to throw strikes and keep it down the zone and keep it low so nobody could tee off on it.
How was Coach Hayes calling this game?
He's calling mostly change-ups, trying to get it down in the zone, and he wanted strikes.
You think he had really good control today?
Yes, sir. I had great control today.
And how about just winning this first game of this tournament? How does that help the team?
Keeps us in the winner's bracket so we don't have to fight to come back. We can just keep on playing and winning.
And you kind of set the tone with the pitching because you all have a very deep pitching staff, right?
Yes, sir. We have a great pitching staff.
Brock Harrison is a member of the pitching staff, and he was the relief pitcher in this game. He entered the game with the bases loaded and walked a batter on a 3-2 pitch. But then he recorded 3 straight strikeouts, a fly ball to center field, and 2 more Ks to end the game. And at the plate, Brock drove in 3 runs with a bases loaded walk, and before that, after going 0 for 2 in his first 2 at-bats, he stroked a 2-run single and a 5-run 4th. Here's a pitch to Harrison. Swings and hits it hard into left field for a base hit. That scores 1, and here comes another runner to the plate scoring. And Lyons on a 2-run base hit by Brock Harrison has doubled the lead to make it 4-zip.
Just had to wait back on it long enough to hit the ball.
What kind of pitching did y'all see today?
Mostly slow pitching, like low 60s, yeah.
Now, when you came in there to pitch, were you bringing the heat?
Yes, sir. I was bringing everything I got.
Now, you used to being a starter. Do you pitch differently when you're a reliever?
It's the same thing. I just want to throw strikeouts and keep the score down, but, I mean, there ain't no difference.
How bizarre was it to be celebrating a victory and then be told you got to go out there and get another strikeout?
I knew I could get a strikeout, so it didn't matter. We were winning 9-3, so 1 run wouldn't hurt us. Finally,
winning this first game. Last year y'all opened up with a loss to Swainsboro, and that sticks you in the loser's bracket. How does it feel, I guess, differently winning this first game?
I mean, it is different. Like, now you can, be relieved and everything, but tomorrow we got to come back and play our best.
Also offensively for Lyons, Christian Metters went 2 for 3 with a 2-run triple. Martin Stevens had a double and an RBI grounder. Cole Graham a double and a walk. Bryce DeLoach had a base hit, and Ricardo Santana went 2 for 3. He reached base 3 times and scored 3 times. And he also laid down a perfect bunt down the third base line.
A good base runner. I've never been thrown out from the pitcher, and every time I run, I just make sure I see how the pitcher is moving. And I stole from second to third, and whenever I did, evidently they had a bad catcher, and I was all around bag, and they threw it, and it passed them, so I ran. And then the second time, I just came from third and stole whenever they missed it. And the third time I went home, they balked it, so I got to go back home.
Yeah, but you also laid down one of the best bunts we've seen here at the big field. You deadened it third base side. How did that happen?
Well, I wasn't supposed to do a bump, but whenever I was bunting, I've been practicing the whole entire time before the game, and I bunted, and then I just outran the ball.
The Lyons Junior Boys All-Stars, who beat Long County 9-3 in round 1 of the Lyons Youth Tourney, knocked off Appling County 6-5 to stay in the winner's bracket. Lyons opened up a 5-0 lead after 3 innings. Then it was 5-4 after 4, 6-4 Lyons after 5, and in the final inning, the 6th inning, Appling County scored a run to make it 6-5 and had the bases loaded with 2 down. The problem for the homeboys was Lyons pitching walked 11 and hit 2, but reliever Bryce DeLoach finally ended the game. 1-2 pitch. Bouncing ball to Bryce DeLoach. Picks it up, throws it over to Stevens, and Lyons wins the ball game on the play by the shortstop pitcher Bryce DeLoach. To a perfect strike over to Martin Stevens, and he strands a bases loaded as Lyons beats Appling County 6-5 in the winner's bracket.
I don't know, I just tensed up, rear back and threw the baseball.
How about the final inning? You made a couple of plays, got a couple of outs to help the team.
Well, I was just trying to stay positive, wasn't trying to worry about nobody scoring or anything, so I just kept calm.
What did it feel like to you when it was finally over? Because I know it was nerve-wracking for everybody involved.
I felt like we really pulled through and won the game, did everything right.
On offense, Lyons opened up the 5-0 lead with good 2-out hitting. Catcher Cole Graham, who threw out 2 runners at second base, went 2 for 2 at the plate. He drove in a run to the 5th inning with a sac fly, and here's a single with 2 down in the first. But it will take a 2-out hit here in the bottom half of the first inning to break up the scoreless tie, and there's a hard hit ball dropping into left field. Martin Stevens around third, coming to the plate. Cole Graham takes a wide turn at first. The ball was hit close to the left field line. He's going to stick it first with a big 2-out RBI hit to put Lyons up 1-0.
I hit a base hit off of him right over third base.
How do you become such a good 2-out hitter? Because y'all did a good job doing that today.
You just have to be aggressive at the plate and swing at strikes that he gives you and hope you can make a good hit.
As the catcher behind the dish with all that was going on late in the game, what were you trying to do to get your pitchers to throw strikes?
I would walk up there sometimes because they were rushing themselves and getting aggravated, so I went up there and I told them to calm down and give them something to swing at.
How did you feel when it was finally over? Because this was a gut-wrencher, so to speak.
Yes, sir. I thought we was going to have them by a good bit at the end of the game, but they started coming back on us, but we stopped them.
In the second inning with 2 outs, Brock Harrison, who went 1 for 3, drove in a run with an RBI single, and Martin Stevens, who went 2 for 2 with a walk, drove in 2 with a double. Nobles gets a sign from Drew Jacobs. Here's the 0-1 pitch, hit hard into right field. Another well-stroked ball by Martin Stevens. That'll score a pair, and Stevens, racing to second base, has himself his second double in this tourney. He drives in 2. And Martin Stevens making serious contact today off Memphis Nobles.
I've been working really hard at practice, trying to get out in front of it and just power pretty much, just working on my power and hitting hard.
What pitches did you hit today?
Fastballs are inside.
How were y'all able to score so many runs today with 2 outs?
Teamwork, and once we got a rally going, we just kept on rallying and getting on base.
You were the first baseman. You caught the ball for the final out when it was all over. How did you feel after all that y'all went through late in this game to win?
I felt good. We used a bunch of teamwork. We worked really hard for this win.
On the 3rd anniversary of Tyler Luke's 15th birthday, a day in which he pitched Lyons to a 2-1 victory over Jeff Davis in the Lyons Tourney by throwing a 2-hitter with 10 Ks and stroking a double and scoring a run, Cole Graham, who wasn't celebrating a birthday, had a similar type game against the same team. Defensively, he started the day behind the plate, but in the 4th inning, he turned into a relief pitcher. With the bases loaded, he gave up a run on a sacrifice fly and then recorded 2 straight outs. Now the 2-2 from Graham. On the way, and here it is. Called strike 3. Damage control by Cole Graham. Enters the game, bases loaded, nobody out.
We had them 7-4, I think, when I came in, and they had a few hits to the outfield that barely dropped in front of us, and they scored.
How did you manage that last inning, especially the bases loaded? You don't want to throw it away, of course, with that runner at third. And the 0-2 pitch, bouncing ball left side of the infield. Bryce DeLoach plays it. He's going to throw to first and get the out. Lyons wins the game. Lyons goes on to a 7-6 victory.
I like it bases loaded and nobody on so I can pitch from the stretch. I'm not that good in the windup.
What'd you think when you finally got that final out?
I was really happy so they didn't come back on us.
Graham is also swinging a very hot stick in the Lyons tournament. He is 5 for 6 with 4 runs batted in. In this game, he singled in a run in the 1st inning and 1 more in the 3rd, an inning in which Lyons scored 5 times to build up a 7-2 lead. Cole Graham stepping in. He wears number 9. Catcher who can pitch, play in the infield. Swings and hits the ball into left field for a base hit. Brock Harrison will score. Runners on the corners. Another RBI hit by Cole Graham. Just another real solid swing.
Yesterday and the day before I've been hitting really good, and today I did pretty good. I hope I keep it up.
Have you ever finished a game with a dirtier uniform?
I probably have before.
How did you get so dirty?
Try my hardest to get to every base I possibly can and slide.
Also in the 6-5 win over Jeff Davis, Martin Stevens went 1 for 3 and stroked his 3rd double of the tournament. He's 4 for 8 at the plate, and he also pitched 3 1/3 as a starting pitcher and picked up the win.
Well, I came in pitching. I held up pretty strong, but then started throwing some balls and walking, and walks wound up hurting you in the end.
To get into the championship round, to beat these 3 teams is a good accomplishment. How have y'all turned it on this point of this tourney?
A lot of teamwork and working together and not worrying about us, not worrying about ourselves, but about the whole team.
On defense, shortstop Bryce DeLoach made some big plays. He was a part of 2 double plays. He started one and he finished one.
Fielded it, getting better with my mechanics, fielding and everything, and just came up throwing.
Describe those 2 double plays that you were a part of.
Well, Reese saved me on one. At last minute, he yelled at me and told me to get to the second, so, man, it worked pretty good.
And finally, you ended the game fielding that grounder and threw it to Martin Stevens for the final out.
Yeah, I already knew he was about to hit it up the middle because he hit it to me 3 times that game, so I just snuck in the middle and I made the last out of the game.
On Friday, the Lyons Junior Boys baseball team needed just 1 win over Jeff Davis to win the Lyons U Tourney. But in a bracket that featured 5 one-run games, including 2 involving Lyons, and one of those was a 7-6 victory over Jeff Davis, it wasn't surprising that another game was decided by 1 single run. Like this one. Lyons took a 1-0 lead in the top of the first inning, scoring an unearned run. Jeff Davis scored 3 unearned runs in the second inning and led 3-1. Then Lyons came back in the top of the 4th. Here's the number 8 hitter, Bryce Brady.
Bryce Brady swings and hits it hard, looping left side. That is a fair ball. That's going to score a run. Here comes Gage Clark to the plate. Here comes Bryce Brady to second with a big double.
The number 2 hitter in the lineup, Brock Harrison, put Lyons back on top.
1-1 to Harrison. Swings and grounds it right side and through by the second baseman. That scores 1, might score 2. Here comes the throw to the dish offline, and Lyons is back on top. Bryce DeLoach second home to put Lyons up 4-3. Brock Harrison goes backside.
Jeff Davis scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 4th inning to take a 5-4 lead. And then Brady came back to the plate with a chance to tie it up.
First pitch line into left field for a base hit. It just got there. It scores a run. It ties the ball game. Davenport, the shortstop, got a glove on it, diving into the hole. Bryce Brady with 2 really big hits.
In the bottom of the 5th inning, with 2 down and Cole Graham pitching in relief, Jeff Davis put runners on 1st and 3rd without a base hit. And up next was the big stick in the lineup, Britt Mitz. Lyons decided to walk him to load up the bases.
How many pitchers are better pitchers with the bases loaded? No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Well, apparently the answer is Cole Graham. Load him up, he gets a big K. Still 5-5 going to the 6th.
In the top of the 6th, the final inning, Graham was at the plate with a chance to put Lyons on top.
Well, Cole has handled the 2-out situation as far as driving in runs in this tournament. He likes the bases loaded when he's pitching and 2 outs when he's hitting. Now he's got 2 strikes on him, too. Chance to put Lyons on top. Here's the pitch. And he swings and hits it into left field for a base hit. Martin Stevens rounding 3rd. Here he comes to the dish. He's in trouble. The throw is caught by the catcher, and he puts on the tag, and Rush gets Martin Stevens at the plate.
In the bottom of the 6th inning, a 1-out single and a stolen base put a runner in scoring position for Jeff Davis.
Really aiming his swing toward Bryce Brady at second. Pokes it, though, left side. It's going to be a tough play. Bobbled by Metters. Here comes a runner around 3rd. Here comes a throw from Bryce DeLoach. They cut it off. And that's the ball game. I don't think they had a chance anyway.
Jeff Davis winning over Lyons 6-5.
Let that one go to see if you got a chance at the dish, and Jeff Davis wins 6-5. And we're going to play another ball game.
And Jeff Davis won that game 8-0 in 5 innings. So Jeff Davis wins the Lyons U tournament, and Lyons finishes 2nd. Here's Bryce Brady on his 2-for-2 day with a walk.
I've been working all this week off hitting balls off the tee because lately I haven't been doing too well, and today just showed me what hard work can do.
Well, how did you do it? I mean, tell me about approaching that pitcher and how you handled those pitches.
Well, the first pitchers I faced they weren't throwing it that fast, so you just have to wait on it a little. When I got up in the second game, the pitcher was throwing it a little harder, so I had to choke up and start swinging a little faster.
How tough was it to lose that first game and then come back in the second game?
There were errors that shouldn't have been made in the first game. I mean, it was a tough loss. We really shouldn't have lost that game, but things happen.